You think that after 60, cheese is a guilty pleasure that raises cholesterol. But what if I told you that avoiding cheese could be the very reason your muscles feel weaker? It sounds backward, as we've been told for decades to watch our dairy. But the truth is, the right cheese is a powerhouse of protein and vitamin K2 for strong muscles and bones, while popular cheese products are just chemicals. In this video, I'll reveal the 4 best cheeses to rebuild muscle, and the #1 choice that also protects your heart. Then, we'll unmask the 4 cheese imposters you must avoid. Stay with me, because this information could change your health forever. And before we dive in, if you're ready to get stronger and reclaim your vitality, please take a moment to press that like button right now. It truly helps our message reach more wonderful people like you. Also, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our vital health tips, and drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from. I absolutely love connecting with our global family. So, the problem isn't cheese itself. It's about choosing the right cheese and eating it the right way. Let's break down the best and the worst. We'll start with 4 incredible cheeses that should be on your plate, going from a well-known classic to the most powerful choice at the end. Then we'll uncover the 4 imposters you must avoid. Let's begin with the cheese that belongs in your refrigerator. Cheese number 4, cottage cheese, your nighttime muscle repairman. While many people think of cottage cheese as a simple diet food, I want you to think of it differently. For those of us over 60, this is your dedicated overnight muscle maintenance tool. It's for those nights when you want your body to be actively repairing and rebuilding itself while you get a restful sleep. Many of us worry about muscle loss, feeling a little less steady on our feet, or finding it harder to do the things we once did with ease. This is where cottage cheese shines as a strategic food, not just a casual snack. It directly addresses the body's need for a slow, steady supply of protein to counteract the natural muscle breakdown, or catabolism, that occurs as we age, especially overnight when our bodies are in a fasting state for many hours. This overnight period is when muscle breakdown can outpace synthesis if the body isn't supplied with the right fuel. The secret to its power lies in its unique protein composition. Cottage cheese is exceptionally rich in a protein called casein, making up about 80% of its protein content. How does it work? Unlike whey protein, which digests very quickly, casein is what's known as a time-release protein. When it hits your stomach, it reacts with the stomach acid and forms a gel-like substance, or micellar curds. What does that do? It slows down digestion dramatically. This means it releases its amino acids, the building blocks of protein, into your bloodstream gradually over a period of many hours, sometimes up to 7 or 8. This provides a continuous anti-catabolic supply of fuel for muscle protein synthesis, the process of repairing and building muscle tissue, precisely when your body is in its longest recovery state, during sleep. It's like having a slow drip IV of muscle-building nutrients working for you all night long, protecting your hard-earned muscle mass. Furthermore, cottage cheese is a fantastic source of leucine, the primary branch-chain amino acid, BCAA, that acts like a key in an ignition, directly signaling the body's mTOR pathway to initiate muscle protein synthesis. And this isn't just a theory. The science is very clear on this. A landmark study published in the British Journal of Nutrition investigated the effects of consuming casein protein before sleep. In the study, researchers gave a group of active young men a casein supplement before they went to bed. They found that the protein was effectively digested and absorbed overnight, leading to a rapid rise in circulating amino acids that was sustained throughout the night. This resulted in a stunning 22% increase in whole-body protein synthesis rates compared to a placebo. While this study was on younger men, The biological mechanism is fundamentally the same and arguably more critical for older adults, who are even more susceptible to muscle loss due to a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. Another review in the journal Nutrients in 2018 specifically highlighted pre-sleep protein ingestion as a key nutritional strategy to stimulate muscle protein synthesis and improve muscle mass and strength in older populations. So how do you incorporate this into your routine? The key is to make it a strategic pre-sleep snack. About 60 to 90 minutes before you plan to go to bed, have a serving of about 1/2 to 2/3 of a cup, which is around 100 to 150 grams. It's important to choose a plain version, either low-fat or full-fat, depending on your caloric needs, but always without added sugars or fruit purees, which are just empty calories that can disrupt sleep. You want the protein, not the sugar rush. You can enjoy it savory with a sprinkle of black pepper, some chopped chives, or even a few toasted pumpkin seeds for extra magnesium. Or, if you prefer something sweet, add a dash of cinnamon, which helps with blood sugar regulation, and a small handful of walnuts for healthy omega-3 fats and extra crunch. The goal is to make it a satisfying, simple ritual that signals to your body that it's time to repair and rebuild. What is your favorite way to eat cottage cheese? Do you prefer it sweet or savory? Share your ideas in the comments below. Cheese number 3. Ricotta cheese, your rapid recovery fuel. Now, where cottage cheese is our slow and steady overnight worker, ricotta cheese is the fast-acting first responder. I call it your rapid recovery fuel because it's the perfect cheese to have after any kind of physical exertion. This could be after a brisk walk, a session of gardening, playing with the grandkids, or a more formal workout. This is for those moments when your muscles are tired and hungry for immediate nourishment. As we get older, our recovery time slows down. That feeling of muscle soreness or fatigue can last longer. Ricotta cheese helps to shorten that recovery window by delivering high-quality nutrients exactly when your muscles are most receptive to them, a period often called the anabolic window. It helps to quickly replenish depleted muscle glycogen, energy stores, and provides the raw materials needed to repair the microscopic muscle tears that occur during activity, which is the fundamental process by which muscles grow stronger. The magic of ricotta comes from a different type of protein, whey protein. Most people know ricotta, which means recooked in Italian, is made from the watery liquid left over from making other cheeses, like mozzarella or provolone. That liquid is whey, and it's a nutritional goldmine. How does whey work? Unlike casein, whey protein is digested and absorbed very quickly, often called a fast protein. It can flood your muscles with essential amino acids, particularly that all-important amino acid leucine, within an hour of consumption. What does this rapid influx do? It kickstarts the muscle repair and synthesis process almost immediately. Think of it like this. If cottage cheese is the slow-burning log on the fire that keeps you warm all night, ricotta is the fast-burning kindling that gets the fire roaring instantly. This makes it the ideal protein source for the post-activity period to maximize your body's recovery response. Additionally, whole milk ricotta provides a good balance of protein and healthy fats, which helps with satiety and the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. The benefits of whey protein for older adults are well documented and profound. A 2017 meta-analysis published in the journal Geriatrics and Gerontology International looked at multiple randomized controlled trials on the effects of whey protein supplementation in adults over 60. The researchers concluded that whey protein consistently and significantly improved muscle mass and strength in this age group, especially when combined with resistance exercise. Another pivotal study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that whey protein was more effective than both casein and soy protein at stimulating muscle protein synthesis in older men, both at rest and after exercise. This demonstrates its superiority as a rapid recovery tool, showing a more potent anabolic effect per gram. The evidence strongly supports using whey protein to combat age-related muscle decline. Making ricotta part of your recovery routine is simple and delicious. The ideal window to consume it is within 60 minutes after you finish your physical activity, to take full advantage of your muscles' heightened sensitivity to nutrients. A serving of about half a cup is perfect. A wonderful way to enjoy it is to whip it with a little bit of honey or pure maple syrup and a sprinkle of lemon zest for a fresh, creamy, dessert-like snack. You can top it with fresh berries, which are full of antioxidants that further help combat exercise-induced inflammation. For a savory, more substantial option, spread it on a slice of whole grain toast and top it with sliced avocado, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, and a pinch of red pepper flakes. This combination gives you high-quality protein from the ricotta, complex carbohydrates from the toast, and healthy monounsaturated fats from the avocado. A perfect recovery meal. Have you ever considered using ricotta cheese as a post-exercise snack? Let me know your thoughts, or if you have other go-to recovery foods. Cheese number 2. Parmigiano Reggiano, your bone and muscle fortress. We now move from the soft cheeses to a true king of the hard cheeses, what the Italians call the king of cheeses. I call Parmigiano Reggiano your bone and muscle fortress because its benefits go far beyond just protein. This is a cheese that does double duty, simultaneously reinforcing the structure of your bones while also providing the most concentrated protein for your muscles. As we age, we face the twin threats of sarcopenia, which is muscle loss, and osteoporosis, which is the loss of bone density. Parmigiano Reggiano is a unique food that powerfully addresses both of these debilitating conditions at the same time. It's not just cheese. It's a functional food that helps to build a more resilient physical frame, making you less susceptible to fractures and maintaining your strength and stability for years to come. Its incredible power comes from its strictly regulated aging process. Authentic Parmigiano Reggiano is aged for a minimum of 12 months, and often for 24, 36, or even 48 months. This long, slow aging process does two critical things. First, it concentrates the nutrients to an incredible degree. It has one of the highest protein concentrations of any cheese, with nearly 10 grams of highly bioavailable protein in a single 1-ounce serving. Because it's aged, the proteins are broken down into smaller peptides and free amino acids, making it very easy for your body to absorb and utilize. Second, and just as important, it develops an incredible density of bone-building minerals, especially calcium and phosphorus. A single ounce provides over 30% of your daily calcium needs, but it doesn't stop there. The aging process also allows beneficial bacteria in the cheese to produce vitamin K2, a crucial nutrient that many people in the Western world are deficient in. How does it work? K2 acts like a traffic cop for calcium, activating proteins that direct calcium out of your arteries, where it can cause dangerous plaque, and shuttle it into your bones and teeth where it belongs. The scientific evidence supporting these nutrients is overwhelming. A 2013 study in the journal Osteoporosis International found a direct correlation between higher vitamin K2 intake and a reduced risk of bone fractures. Participants with the highest K2 intake had a significantly lower risk of hip fractures, one of the most devastating injuries for older adults. Regarding the protein, a consensus statement from the Prot Age Study Group, published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, emphasized that older adults need significantly more protein than younger people, recommending amounts as high as 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight to overcome anabolic resistance. The highly concentrated, easily digestible protein in Parmigiano Reggiano helps meet these elevated requirements. Incorporating this cheese is about quality, not quantity. Because it's so flavorful and nutritionally dense, you don't need much. A 1-ounce serving, about the size of your thumb, is a perfect portion. You don't just eat a block of it. The best way to use it is as a finishing ingredient that elevates your meals. Grated fresh over a bowl of minestrone soup, a whole wheat pasta dish with vegetables, or a large salad. The flavor is so intense that a little goes a long way. Shave thin slices to have with a few pear or apple slices for a sophisticated snack. Always buy it in a wedge with the rind on. Look for the Parmigiano Reggiano name dotted on the rind and check for the DOP, Denominación de Origen Protecta seal. This is a European Union certification that guarantees the cheese was made in a specific region of Italy according to traditional methods, ensuring you're getting the real, nutrient-dense product. What dishes do you love to top with a sprinkle of real Parmesan? Share your favorite food pairings in the comments. Cheese number 1. Gruyere, the cardiovascular and muscle protector. We've arrived at our number 1 cheese, and it might be a surprise to some. I call Gruyere the cardiovascular and muscle protector because it brings together the best qualities of all the other cheeses and adds a unique, powerful benefit for your heart and arteries, while providing an excellent source of high-quality protein and calcium similar to Parmigiano. Gruyere is one of the world's richest natural sources of that critical nutrient we mentioned earlier, vitamin K2. This is the cheese that not only helps you build strong, resilient muscles and bones, but also works actively to keep your cardiovascular system healthy and flexible. For anyone over 60, protecting your heart is just as important as protecting your muscles, and Gruyere is a delicious way to do both. It represents a holistic approach to aging well, strengthening your body from its very foundation, your bones, out to your muscles, all while protecting the vital pathways of your heart. The secret, once again, is in how this cheese is made. Gruyere is an Alpine cheese traditionally made from the raw, unpasteurized milk of cows that graze on lush, biodiverse mountain pastures of the Swiss Alps. This high-quality milk from grass-fed cows is the starting point. During the cheese-making and aging process, specific bacterial cultures, particularly Propionibacterium freudenreichii, go to work. These are the bacteria responsible for creating the cheese's characteristic small eyes, or holes, and its nutty, complex flavor. But they also do something incredible. They synthesize large amounts of vitamin K2, specifically the MK9 and MK8 forms. As we discussed, vitamin K2 is the nutrient that activates proteins responsible for bone metabolism. Crucially, it also activates a protein called matrix GLA protein, MGP. What does this protein do? It is the most potent inhibitor of vascular calcification known to man. It acts like a scavenger, binding to calcium in your soft tissues, like your arteries and heart valves, and preventing it from being deposited there. This is a key factor in preventing atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries. The evidence for vitamin K2's cardiovascular benefits is stunning. The Rotterdam study, a large-scale, long-term population study in the Netherlands following over 4,800 people for a decade, published its findings in the Journal of Nutrition. It found that participants with the highest intake of vitamin K2 were 52% less likely to develop severe aortic calcification and had a 57% lower risk of dying from heart disease compared to those with the lowest intake. This is not a small effect. It's a massive, life-altering difference. By choosing a cheese like Gruyere, you are consuming a food that has been scientifically shown to protect your heart in a profound way, all while delivering the protein and calcium your muscles and bones need. How do you enjoy this incredible cheese? Like Parmigiano, Gruyere is a rich, flavorful cheese, so a 1-ounce serving is plenty. It's a fantastic melting cheese, making it a wonderful, nutrient-dense addition to an omelet or a frittata. A classic use is melted over a bowl of French onion soup, which is a truly comforting and healthy meal if made with a good quality bone broth. You can also simply slice it and enjoy it with some whole grain crackers and a handful of grapes or walnuts. Its creamy texture and nutty, slightly sweet flavor make it a satisfying and deeply nourishing snack. When buying Gruyere, look for one that has been aged for at least 6 to 9 months. And if you can find Gruyere d'Alpage, that means it was made in the summer months from cows grazing on high alpine pastures, which is considered the highest quality. Have you ever tried authentic Swiss Gruyere? What do you love to pair it with? But knowing what to eat is only half the battle. It is just as crucial to know what to avoid, because some products masquerading as cheese can undo all your hard work. So now, let's pull back the curtain on the 4 biggest imposters in the cheese aisle. Cheese to avoid, number 4. Processed American cheese slices. This product is at the top of our list of frauds. I refer to it as the chemical imposter. It's sold right next to real cheese, wrapped in individual plastic sleeves. But it is fundamentally not cheese. It is a pasteurized processed cheese food, or cheese product. Legally, it cannot be called just cheese in the United States, because it often contains less than 51% actual cheese. The rest is a collection of industrial ingredients, water, oils, and chemical additives designed to create a uniform, plastic-like texture and an unnaturally long shelf life, not to provide nutrition. For anyone serious about their health, this product represents everything you should be avoiding: ultra-processed ingredients, low nutritional value, and potentially harmful additives. So what's actually in it? The ingredient list is a chemical dictionary. It typically includes milk, whey, and milk protein concentrate, but then you'll find a host of other ingredients, emulsifiers like sodium citrate and sodium phosphate to make it melt smoothly without the fat separating, artificial colors like annatto or apocarotinol to give it that signature orange hue, and preservatives to keep it from spoiling. The sodium phosphates are particularly concerning. How do they work? While your body needs phosphorus, the inorganic phosphate additives used in processed foods are absorbed far more readily, nearly 100%, than the natural, organic phosphorus in whole foods, which is absorbed at about 40 to 60%. What does this do? It can lead to abnormally high levels of phosphate in the blood, a condition that has been linked in numerous studies to an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, progressive kidney disease, and even bone demineralization, as it disrupts your body's delicate calcium-phosphorus balance. The science against these ultra-processed foods is damning. A massive cohort study published in the British Medical Journal in 2018, which followed over 100,000 adults, found that a 10% increase in the consumption of ultra-processed foods was associated with a greater than 10% increase in the risks of overall cardiovascular disease, coronary heart disease, and cerebrovascular disease. Processed American cheese is the textbook definition of an ultra-processed food. It offers very little of the high-quality protein and beneficial nutrients found in real cheese, while delivering a payload of sodium and chemical additives that place a burden on your body's detoxification and regulatory systems. The how-to here is simple: how to avoid it. Read the labels carefully. If you see the words pasteurized processed cheese food, cheese product, or a long list of chemical-sounding ingredients, put it back on the shelf. If you want a cheese for a grilled cheese sandwich or a burger, use a thin slice of real, flavorful cheese, like a mild cheddar, provolone, or even better, our #1 choice, Gruyere. It will melt beautifully and provide you with actual nutrition instead of empty, potentially harmful calories. Be honest, did you grow up eating these cheese slices? It's shocking to learn what's really in them, isn't it? Cheese to avoid #3. Cheese in a can or squeezable cheese. Next on our list is a product that takes food processing to a new low. I call this the laboratory spread. This is the cheese that comes in an aerosol can or a squeezable plastic bottle. If processed slices are a cheese product, this is a cheese concoction. It barely resembles any food found in nature. It's engineered for convenience and novelty, but this convenience comes at a steep nutritional price. For an older adult focused on building health and fighting frailty, this product is a nutritional wasteland. It provides almost none of the benefits of real cheese and introduces a cocktail of artificial ingredients, unhealthy fats, and preservatives into your system. It is the very definition of pro-inflammatory empty calories. Let's look under the hood of this lab experiment. The primary ingredients are often whey and canola oil or soybean oil. Right away, this is a major red flag. Instead of being based on the healthy, stable, saturated milk fats found in real cheese, it's based on highly processed industrial seed oils, which are often high in inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. Then you have the familiar cast of characters: milk protein concentrate, a massive amount of sodium, sodium phosphates for that unnatural texture, and a long list of thickeners like sodium alginate, sorbic acid as a preservative, and artificial colors. The protein content is minimal and of poor quality. You are essentially eating an oil-based, salt-laden, chemically stabilized spread that is actively working against your health. There isn't a single credible scientific study that would advocate for consuming a product like this for health. On the contrary, the body of evidence points to the dangers of its individual components. A report from the Harvard School of Public Health has highlighted the inflammatory potential of diets high in omega-6 fatty acids from processed vegetable oils when not balanced by anti-inflammatory omega-3s. Chronic inflammation is a root cause of nearly every major age-related disease, from heart disease to arthritis and dementia. Furthermore, the extremely high sodium content is a major concern for blood pressure, a critical health marker for anyone over 60. A 2019 article in the journal Nutrients reviewed the strong links between high sodium intake and hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and stroke. The instructions here are even simpler than with the cheese slices. Do not buy this product. There is no redeeming quality to it. If you want a creamy cheese spread, you have so many wonderful, healthy options. Take the ricotta cheese we talked about and whip it with herbs and garlic. Blend cottage cheese until it's smooth to create a high-protein dip. Or simply mash a ripe avocado with lemon juice and salt. Choose real food, not a science experiment in a can. Have you ever seen this cheese in a can at the store? What was your first thought? Cheese to avoid #2, full-fat cream cheese. Now, this one might surprise some people and requires nuance. I call this one the deceptive delight. Unlike the previous two products, cream cheese is in fact real cheese. However, its nutritional profile makes it a poor choice if your primary goal is to build muscle and support your overall health. The problem with full-fat cream cheese is not that it's inherently bad, like a chemical concoction, but that it's deceptive. We see the word cheese and our brains think protein, but in reality, it's mostly fat and offers very little of the muscle-building protein we are looking for. It's a fat delivery system with a hint of cheese flavor. Let's break down the numbers as they tell the whole story. A standard 2-tablespoon serving of full-fat cream cheese contains about 100 calories. Of those 100 calories, around 90 of them come from fat, about 10 grams of fat, of which 6 grams are saturated. In that same serving, you get less than 2 grams of protein. Now, compare that to our number 4 cheese, cottage cheese. A similar 100-calorie serving of low-fat cottage cheese would give you around 20 grams of high-quality casein protein and only about 1.5 grams of fat. The protein-to-fat ratio is completely inverted. When you choose cream cheese, you are using up your caloric budget on fat with a negligible protein payoff. It simply doesn't align with the strategic goal of increasing protein intake to combat sarcopenia. There isn't a specific study against cream cheese, but the science of nutrition for older adults guides our decision. The concept is called protein density or nutrient density. As we age, our caloric needs often decrease slightly due to a slowing metabolism, but our protein needs increase significantly. This means we need to get more protein per calorie consumed. Research, like the Prot-Age Study Group recommendations published in the Journal of the American Medical Directors Association, has made it clear that older adults need more protein to overcome anabolic resistance. Cream cheese has a very low protein density. It fills you up with fat and calories without delivering the protein needed to trigger a meaningful muscle-building response. So what's the actionable advice? If you love the tangy flavor and creamy texture on your morning bagel, you have better options. First, consider switching to Neuchâtel cheese. It's often sold right next to cream cheese, has a very similar taste and texture, but is made with more milk than cream, so it is naturally lower in fat and higher in protein. Or even better, try the trick I mentioned earlier. Whip up some low-fat cottage cheese or ricotta. You can blend cottage cheese with a squeeze of lemon juice and a pinch of salt to create a spread that is incredibly high in protein and delicious. This isn't about deprivation. It's about making a smarter swap that serves your health goals. This is a great example of how looking at the nutrition label can empower you to make better choices. Do you often check the protein content of your foods? Cheese to avoid. Number 1. Pre-shredded bagged cheeses. We've arrived at the most insidious product on our avoid list because it looks so harmless and feels so helpful. I call this the convenient contaminant. This is the bag of pre-shredded cheddar, mozzarella, or Mexican blend that seems like such a time saver. You're buying what you think is real cheese, just conveniently prepared for you. But to prevent those delicate shreds from clumping together into a single, solid mass in the bag, manufacturers have to add anti-caking agents, and these additives are not something you want to be consuming regularly. You are trading a minute or two of your time grating cheese for a regular dose of unnecessary ingredients that can interfere with your health and digestion. What are these anti-caking agents? The most common ones are cellulose powder and potato starch. Cellulose is essentially powdered wood pulp or plant fibers. While it's considered safe by the FDA and passes through your digestive system without being absorbed, the question is, why would you want to eat wood pulp? It's a non-nutritive filler. When you buy a bag of shredded cheese, up to 4% of what's in that bag can be cellulose. You are paying for a filler that provides no nutritional value and can sometimes cause digestive upset in sensitive individuals. Some brands also add natamycin, a mold inhibitor. While it's also generally regarded as safe, the principle remains. You are consuming additives that you simply don't need if you buy a solid block of cheese. The bigger issue here isn't just the additives themselves, but the principle of what they represent. The science of healthy aging points overwhelmingly towards the consumption of whole, unprocessed foods. Pre-shredded cheese is a step away from that. It's a more processed product. A 2020 review in the journal Nutrients titled "The Case for a Higher Protein Intake in Older Adults," stressed the importance of high-quality protein sources. When you buy a block of cheese, 100% of what you are buying is cheese. When you buy pre-shredded, you are getting less cheese and added fillers. Furthermore, the increased surface area of shredded cheese means it degrades much faster in quality and flavor compared to a solid block. It dries out and loses its aromatic compounds. The solution here is beautifully simple and incredibly rewarding. Buy a block of real cheese, a good sharp cheddar, Monterey Jack, or low-moisture mozzarella. Invest in a simple box grater. It takes less than 60 seconds to grate the amount of cheese you need for a meal. The benefits are enormous. First, you get 100% pure cheese with zero additives. Second, the flavor is vastly superior. Freshly grated cheese melts better, tastes richer, and has a much better texture than the dry, starchy shreds from a bag. Third, it's often more economical to buy cheese in a block. You are empowering yourself by taking one small extra step to ensure the quality of the food you put into your body. Did you also buy pre-shredded cheese for convenience? Have you noticed it tastes inferior to a block of cheese? Now, I know what you might be thinking, but if I start eating cheese, especially these richer cheeses, won't my cholesterol and blood pressure go up? Isn't the fat bad for me? That is an excellent and very important question. Don't worry. The fear of fat and cholesterol from whole food dairy is largely based on outdated science. Modern research has given us a much clearer picture. Here are 4 simple rules to enjoy these wonderful cheeses without any worry. Number 1. Portion control is key. The cheeses we recommended are nutritionally dense. You don't need a huge amount to get the benefits. A 1-ounce serving, which is about the size of your thumb or small matchbox, is the perfect daily amount. This gives you a powerful dose of protein, calcium, and vitamins without overloading you with calories or saturated fat. It's about a strategic addition, not an all-you-can-eat buffet. Number 2. Pair it wisely. Don't just eat cheese by itself. Pair it with fiber-rich, nutrient-dense foods. Add grated Parmesan to a large vegetable salad or a hearty bean soup. Have a slice of Gruyere with an apple or a handful of walnuts. Mix cottage cheese with berries and flax seeds. The fiber in these plant foods helps with digestion, promotes satiety, helps manage any impact on blood sugar, and creates a balanced, healthy mini meal. Number 3. Choose quality over quantity. This is the most important rule. Avoid the processed cheese products we talked about. Invest in real, well-aged cheeses. These cheeses are more flavorful, so you'll be satisfied with less, and they provide beneficial nutrients like vitamin K2 that are absent in their cheaper processed counterparts. You are voting with your dollar for real food. Number 4. Listen to your body. We are all different. Pay attention to how you feel when you incorporate these foods. If you have a known dairy sensitivity or are lactose intolerant, you may need to choose cheeses that are naturally very low in lactose due to the aging process, like Parmigiano Reggiano and aged Gruyere, where the bacteria have consumed most of the milk sugar. The goal is to nourish your body, so being mindful of its signals is crucial. So, my friends, today we talked about more than just cheese. We talked about how to use smart, strategic food choices to take control of your health as you age. We've learned that you can and should use specific, high-quality cheeses as powerful tools to rebuild muscle, strengthen your bones, and even protect your heart. It's about transforming fear into knowledge and replacing harmful, processed products with wholesome, life-giving foods. I'm not asking you to change your whole life overnight. I'm asking you to take one small step. Just pick the one cheese from our best list that resonated with you the most. Maybe it's the idea of cottage cheese helping you repair overnight, or the bone-building power of Parmigiano. Get some this week and try it. Just observe how you feel. Which one will you try first? Let me know your choice in the comments. And if this video gave you a sense of empowerment and hope for your health journey, just type the word hope. And of course, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so we can continue this health journey together, making smart choices every step of the way. Take care. May your meals be nourishing and your body strong. I'll see you in the next video.